Greetings, beautiful beings, beautiful, phenomenal beings. This is Sister Saleema and Madi coming to you with our first Sister for Nationhood, Sistas for Nationhood. Um, and we're having some technical difficulties. Hollip, where are you? Come help. Sis, I think what I said I was going to do was I was going to I think what you should do, Saleema, is just log in. I think what you should do, Saleema. No, not log in. I'm trying to send you the link so I can just have you join. Uh-oh. We're having problems, guys. Phenomenal beings. This is Sister Saleema and Madi. We're having problems, guys. Phenomenal beings. All right, let's bear with me for 1 minute. Let me figure out how to do this. No, not log in. I'm trying to send you. Oh, man. The link so I can just have you join. Okay, so I'm going to have to go out and come back in. We're going to try this again, guys. Forgive us. We need Hollip here. We're having problems, guys.
Sis, can you hear me?
Now I can.
Okay.
Now I can.
I'm back.
Okay, hold on. Sis, can you hear me? All right. Okay. You're back. Okay. All right. I'm back. Okay, hold on. So let me, okay, I'm going to take you off of whatever else I have you on because I'm hearing myself. Okay, hold on.
We trying to behave ourselves on the story? Well, y'all know what we thinking right now.
I'm ready for the night. I got a strategy. I don't know what might come out.
Sis, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm just hearing like some background stuff. Are you hearing that?
I hear it. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, me either. So I'm trying to log out of everything. Hearing like some background. Okay. Is it gone? I don't know where it's coming from either. We're going to get this together. We promise. Okay. Is it gone?
It's gone.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay, Saleema, take it away, sis.
All right. So good evening. This is our first Sisters for Nationhood. This is our first Sisters for Nationhood. Why sisters want nationhood, and why why is this something that is important for sisters?
There is a background. I hear a repeat. Are you open in another app? If you are, that's cool. Just I think if you mute it, then you will be good. Because I could hear.
How is it now?
Twice. Yep. Well, nope. I'm still hearing something. All right, hold on. Let me make sure it's not me. Yeah, I'm hearing I'm hearing an echo. All right, hold on. Let me make sure it's not me. Do you hear it?
Yeah, I hear it.
I'm hearing an echo. You hear it? Yeah. Do you hear it? Okay.
I do. I honestly think it's my computer.
Okay. Look and see if you have it. Look and see if you have it more than one screen open, since we were trying so many different things. Look and see if you have it. You know, it might be a tab, because I had a tab open, an extra tab open. Peace, underrated mind. Peace, Dawood.
How is it sounding now?
I still hear it.
Yeah, I only have one open.
Where is that coming from? All right, I'm closing everything out, so I don't know where it's coming from. I have no idea where it's coming from. Okay, well, somebody needs to mute the stream in the
Okay,
background.
I think it was just technical difficulties with my computer.
Okay, yeah, it's gone.
So it's gone
Yay,
now, correct?
yay. Thank you, Brother Dawood. All right,
So-
let's go, Saleema, Sister Saleema.
All right. Thank you guys
I
for
love the way that sounds.
sticking in there with us, with our background issues and all of that. So thank you so much for that. And thank you guys for coming out to our first
Hi, Darius.
live. I'm very excited to be a part of this. This is awesome for me. As one of our brothers would say, this is some sensational-ish, and I love it. So again, I'm Saleema. I am affectionately called Sister Saleema by a few members. And I just wanted to do a brief introduction. That's basically what this live is, to introduce to introduce people to some of the sisters of the BAIO, and to let other sisters know that this is an inclusive space. It's a space where we can say what we want, be who we are, and still want to build nationhood. So just a brief introduction. I am a Black woman that loves Black people. I have loved Black people my entire life, which seems weird, but we were put in spaces, my sisters and I, where we saw Black love, where we saw that there was a need for Black people to love one another, where there was a need for us to embrace each other and know that we needed to be a part of that Black family. And we've always known that we wanted our own. You know, we've always, I have 4 sisters, and we've always known that being a part of the Black united family around the globe is where we needed to be. My parents really, really put that in us at a very young age. So, hey, peace, brothers. We, like I said, there's 5 of us, and we were brought up my parents were in the Lost Foundation of Islam as teenagers, and my uncle. So we always had that sense of Black love. As an adult, I signed my letter of belief, wrote my letter of belief, and was in the Lost Foundation of Islam. And younger, we campaigned for Jesse Jackson's presidency. We did all of those things that you would think would, at some point in my lifetime, give us some form of inclusiveness or some form of peace, because we've done everything that we could have done to have a peaceful life in this country, and that's not happening. So what's next? You know, are we to stay here and just be or are we going to have our own? Are we going to make sure that the next generation has a place where they can feel safe, a place where they can thrive, a place where their excellence is not looked upon as, oh, you're doing extra. Oh, look at the little good Black kid, you know. Oh, you're doing good for a Black child. You know, I remember hearing those things. You speak so well. Because I grew up in the projects in Brooklyn. I remember, you know, adult people, Black and white, saying that to me. You speak so well. You know, I remember a friend of the family wanted to send me to a white boarding school for high school, because in his mind, he felt that would be a better a better opportunity for me to be a better person, to be around different types of people, you know. So it almost seemed like everyone else is making the decisions as to how I would be a better adult or a better person overall, but everything excluded me from Black people. Everything that they suggested took me away from being around my people, and I wasn't willing to do any of that. So here I am, an adult, and my brother said, "Hey, I have this group, and we want to get out of here. You know, we want our own land, we want our own nation state, we want these things so we can grow and be the people who we truly are in our hearts and soul, because we are not able to do that here." Regardless to, you know, the millionaires and the football players and the actors and the actresses and the musicians, they still have to hold a part of themselves back to stay in that realm that they're in. When do we have when are we in a place where we can just be, where we can just be happy and be free to, you know, be ourselves completely? And that's what we are here. The BAIO, we want nationhood. We want a place where we can just be. What about you, sis?
Well said. Well said. I agree with you 1,000%. So let me start off by sharing that disparity is a deeply, deeply painful reality that I live with. I am a 4'11", dark chocolate, sassy, African, Caribbean, Hispanic American, born and reared in Brooklyn, New York. Come with a lot of fire.
Mhm.
I am a mother of a 29-year-old daughter, 24-year-old son. I have a 4-year-old grandson. I am naturally an upbeat individual who loves to connect with my brothers and sisters of this human race. Yet I find that as I assess myself, I bear the unsolicited burden of openly and frequently sharing exactly who I am and exactly who we are as dynamic, phenomenal, spiritual, and rhythmical Africans living in America. And I asked myself, when I thought about this and I realized this, I was having a conversation with a Jewish colleague, and I asked myself, why do I bear this unsolicited burden? And I realized it's because I wish for all people to see what they know intuitively and what they know naturally about us Africans. And that is how bright we are, how brilliant we are, how beautiful we are, inside and out. How beautiful we are as daughters of the diaspora and sons of the motherland. They know. So I've been an activist since I was in my 20s, an activist of sorts, a mentor. And I realize that I want our ancestors and present day sheroes and heroes, some of those are in the BAIO. I want them acknowledged for the profound contributions made to this country and to the world. I want to tell our story and not perpetuate the lies told by history, his story. So, and I also, thanking Brother Martin, I want to be judged by the content of my character. I really, really do. And not by this one-sided, stereotypical perspective based on a very successful marketing campaign that reads Black and brown are inferior. Hold on a second, let me just post this. Also, as I was thinking about today, I was thinking that I want to live without the covert and overt isms, racism, sexism, colorism. It's my intention, alongside you, to bring the truth, mentor the youth, and to tell people about, or to share my belief that in order for us to have the true joy, the opposite of some of the things I just mentioned, there has to be a nation state. There has to be a pursuit of land, infrastructure, and a building of nationhood. My children went to a school called Nation House, Watoto, and the whole idea was about nationhood. So I'm honored to share this with you, Sister Saleema. I see your power. I see your fire. I hear your fire. When on all the other lives I've listened to, you're funny as heck. So on behalf of you and I, and for those who may not know, I'm Madi, also known as SpiritLifters. I want to welcome you to our first Sisters for Nationhood. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot that, as women, from a female perspective, we're brilliant and we're beautiful. We're strong and we're soft. And that balance is needed for any movement. We bring some kind of uniformity. We bring some administrative things. We bring a lot to the table. So it's important that you hear our voices. It's important that you hear from the nurturers of this society, the nurturers of our African people. Not taking anything away from the brothers, but it's important that you hear our voices. So,
and it's called balance.
Yeah.
We're two different species, or two different coins we're two different sides of one coin for a reason. I need my brothers to be strong for us. Not that we're weak or
Right.
meek or unable to do things in regards to strength, but I need my brothers to be strong for me. I don't even want to be classified as a strong Black woman.
Yeah.
I want to be classified as a Black woman who is able to sit by the side of a Black man and build.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
I want to be listened to, and my thing is, I need every single Black woman that is listening to this, who will listen to this in the future, you being submissive to a man who knows how to treat a submissive woman will not hurt you, hinder you, or harm you. I promise you.
It will not.
I promise you, it will not hurt you. Because guess what? When you are doing your part and he is doing his part, the only thing you can do is flourish. The only thing you can do is grow, prosper, be a better group of people than we are. Because what we've not done in the last 500 years is literally just sat down and said, I'm your sister, you're my brother. Let's focus on building for us. We've attempted to build with everyone else except for us. And if my mind is clear that I don't have to worry about brother going ahead and doing all this other crazy stuff, we can focus on nationhood. We can focus on building Taj Mahals. We can focus on building pyramids. We can focus on our children having the best lives any child could ever think of. That's in us.
Mm-hmm.
So once we get all of the muck from the past out of our minds, let's think of this as a new beginning.
Right.
Let's think of this as we are now, from this moment forward, I am going to relinquish that male energy that so many Black women feel like they need. Let's relinquish it back to the males. Yes. And let's be feminine.
Yeah,
Take that
absolutely.
back, brothers. It's yours.
Absolutely.
I don't want
Listen,
it.
I walk in it. I walk in it. And I am thoroughly, thoroughly upset when I see a brother being a gentleman for a sister and the sister saying no or turning her nose up, if he holds the door, if he offers a seat, if he wants to carry the bags. Do all of that, please. Please, I don't want hard hands. I want soft hands. I don't want to be lifting the heavy weight, literally or figuratively. So I agree with you. I agree. Take it back.
Because
Take back. Take back the protection and the provision.
that's right.
And then let me do what I'm supposed to do, what I
That's
do
right. Because I'm
naturally.
supposed to be soft. I'm supposed to sit and when you come around sisters, I wish that Mark was here, because Mark, he says it so eloquently when he talks about when he's with my sisters and I. And it's funny that he even mentions that he doesn't have to get his plate. He doesn't have to do all of those things that, they write memes on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you were at your man's house, would you get his plate?
Absolutely.
Why would you not?
Absolutely.
Why would you
Absolutely.
not?
I would not want you to make your own plate. In fact, I don't even want you
In
near
the
the
kitchen.
food preparation, near the
Don't
kitchen.
come nowhere near the kitchen, sir.
Yeah, let me do my thing. Unless you're keeping my company.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Keeping me laughing.
But,
But,
and it's those little things. And we are so, and it's not our fault, because we have had to do everything on our own because of the way that society has, has put us in these little boxes. I'm sorry, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want anything that is considered a traditional male action, activity, or task to be on my shoulders.
Yeah.
At all.
Absolutely.
I want to be able to sit there and be his queen. And he see me and he's like, oh my goodness, across the room, look at her being feminine and soft. And when she speaks to me in a way that makes me so proud to be with her. Yep. I don't understand why that's a bad thing.
I don't. And, like Darius is saying,
absolutely,
the system has set us up so that we're in this position. And of course, this was all a part of the master plan.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So for me, I always say, I refuse to believe that as powerful as we are, that we have survived slavery and that we are here today to talk about it generations later. That speaks to power. That speaks to intuitiveness. That speaks to Black magic. So I refuse in 2021, almost 2022, to believe that I don't have the power to make the change alongside you and alongside all the members that are a part of the BAIO. I refuse. So anything that is, but the thing that stands out for me that Harlop also says, and the brothers also says a lot that is very true, is that making that shift in an environment that is set up against us, has pits us against each other, and that has years and years of systematic and systemic racism.
And distrust. We don't trust one another.
No, we don't.
We have absolutely no trust for one another. And that is, we were told not to trust the Black man. Yep. The Black man he don't have your back. He's not going to take care of your children. And I'm the type of person, I go off of my life. You know what I mean? And I talk about the fact that my dad passed away when I was 10 years old. But my father instilled in us what we needed in that 10 years of my life. We still use his teachings till this day, my sisters and I. He taught us things that were in 10 years lasted for a lifetime. So you can't sit there and tell me that the Black man is not worth anything. You can't tell me that the Black man doesn't love his children. You can't tell me that the Black man doesn't love his woman. You cannot, because I saw it with all
Yeah.
of the other things that were going on in that household. I was never afraid that my dad wouldn't take care of me. I was never
Mm,
afraid that he didn't have our backs, that if
mm,
something happened, he wouldn't be there.
mm,
You know, and he was a disciplinarian. He made sure I remember my dad wouldn't let us use words that we couldn't pronounce properly, spell. We had to know exactly what they meant, and we needed to know how to put it in a sentence. If we came home from school or from somewhere using a different word, we would have to give him that information. So that is why our vocabulary is what it is, because and like I said, he passed away when I was 10. So he was doing these things when I was a very young child. And I'm like, I just heard a cool word and somebody told me that's what it means. That's not what it means. He said, go get the dictionary. Because if you're not sure, I'm going to need you not to use that word until you know exactly what it means, how to use it. And so don't tell me that the black man don't love his children. Don't tell me that the black man can't do whatever he wants to do. I don't want to hear that the black man didn't have a father in the household, so he doesn't know how. These things are innate in us. They come with your DNA. So no. And I absolutely refuse to listen to it. I not even not believe it. I refuse to listen to it.
absolutely.
Okay? So
Absolutely. So yeah, so why we are here? We are here because we are necessary and we matter and our thoughts matter and our viewpoints matter. And in order for us to move things forward, and this is how I feel about moving things forward. And I told Holub this just a couple of days ago. I'm good. We have to vet people for the BAIO, right? I am good with making moves now in terms with who we have, and out of that came our conversation about going to Rwanda, because for me, I feel we need to connect with that brother, the president in Rwanda. We need to talk to him because he has a plan for 2050 that is circulating in Rwanda. And I believe that, I know that Mark said that when he was there the last time, they could have met with him. And I think that someone like him needs to be we need to be connected to him, and he needs to be connected to us, just in terms of strategizing. And like the brother, someone on here said, we need a curriculum. I call it a blueprint. We need to have some meetings, private meetings. So I'm ready to move on things now, to start making things happen now, because what really brought it home for me, in terms of nationhood and whatever, was when Mark, it was home for me. That's why I decided to, it was clear to me, rather, that I needed to be a part of the BIO months ago. But the reality of that movie, the end of that movie, 2012, I think that's what it's called.
yes, that's what it was.
And the fact that, because I really am one of those people that believe these movies are connected to some truth and and plans. So, and we would be foolish not to pay attention, right? So the fact that that movie ends with the focus being on Africa, I refuse to live in Africa and it's another America. It's America recreated in Africa, in terms of us beautiful Black beings becoming the minority, or
Third
being
class citizens.
Exactly. I refuse.
Absolutely.
So for me, I don't need to wait another day. I don't need to wait another. I have my book and I'm ready. I'm like, okay, we need to start. And I'm talking to Mark about this. Yeah, I'm talking to Mark about this because whomever is a part of it now, is we're going to move with whoever. That's where
that's
I
right.
in terms of being sisters for me, so all the BAIOs, you're going to be hearing from me, because what I do in my daytime life for money is administrative stuff. So I am definitely connecting with everybody so that we can start putting some things on paper and getting some things organized administratively, because the time is now. It's not even about, the time is now, period.
Absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely. And what I like is the fact this conversation is bringing to the forefront that we are not the sisters that are sitting in the background. We're not
Right.
just there, you know, to say, because that's the common theme or the common miscommunication or the common reason why people don't want to be in these Black grassroots groups is because they say that the sisters are normally not represented in the forefront, and that's just not this. That's not us at all.
Right.
We have a voice. We use it very well. The conversations that are had in regards to the growth and the building of our nation, I've never heard a brother say, "Sister, no, that's not for you."
Right.
You know, or
no, actually, they're very welcoming of the sisters.
Absolutely. With my background being in security,
Mm-hmm.
Minister Dawood and I are like the security experts. So we have these weird conversations where we are talking about security. We're talking about doors and locks and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
He's never dismissed my experience or the information that I have. You know, I've never felt dismissed by any of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's a big part of why a lot of Black women don't want to be in these groups, because they feel like they will be diminished in these groups. They'll be objectified and things of that nature, and that's just not this group.
No,
you
the
know,
ultimate respect.
I would never be a part of that group.
Yes.
Can you Darius just said we want Black women to be seen and heard, not seen and not heard.
That's right. Yes, right.
Absolutely.
Right.
And it's an amazing group of people, the brothers and the sisters, and we all have something to offer. We all have something to give to the world, you know, and I've never felt, or I've never been in a situation in this group where somebody just wanted to take from you and we weren't building upon whatever we're giving out, because that is again something that we typically find where there's just a take situation, and that person is just, and we tend to get exhausted with whatever we're doing because we're not getting anything in return, you know? So and again, we're going to say that what's our end game? Because we're working towards that end game, and that's to have our own nation state. So we're going to continue to build on that, because that's not going to happen just tomorrow. I think if we all got together and really, really thought about it really hard and prayed and put our minds together, it might happen tomorrow. But that's something that we have to work on. That's something that has to come with hard work. I know that when we get our nation state built and everything is working and flourishing, and we are on the main stage and all of those things that are going to be beautiful, and, you know, there are going to be Black people that are going to come along. And that's just the type of people that we have unfortunately grew into. But I need everyone listening to my voice to know that as a sister, I have just as much voice as someone, as Minister Dwayne, as Holla. You know, we have the same voice.
Absolutely. So I was thinking about some of the things that we will talk about moving forward. You know, when we have our own nation state and we have rebuilt, there's a shedding that will have to take place in terms of shedding, number one, not, the post-traumatic stress of living under the white gaze.
Absolutely.
So once there's a shedding, then there is a rebuilding, allowing yourself to just be, allowing yourself to move and operate with each other intuitively.
The tear in the wheat.
Say that again.
The tear in the wheat.
Yes.
Yes. You know that outer layer of the wheat is just there for protection.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only, and we've built up these strong personalities, these harsh exteriors, because that is the environment that we're in. So your shedding is going to be us being who we truly are. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And I think that we can be, the beautiful thing about being a part of the BAIO is that we get to be that way with each other and then take that into the world.
Yes.
I'm not a church goer. However, one of the ministers that I like is Michael Bernard Beckwith. There's a lot of his truths that's gotten me through some rough times in the past. And in his Agape International Center, he said that everybody is welcomed in that center, right? And when they exchange love in that center, unconditional love and acceptance, the idea is to take that energy and then spread it into the world. And when I think of what we have to do, what will have to take place in terms of that shedding and reacquainting ourselves with ourselves when we're no longer under the white gaze and we're in control, and rebuilding and living our intuitive, magical, naturally magical self as we're on the magnetic soil of Africa.
Sis, hold on one moment.
Sure. So as we're waiting for Sister Saleema, I guess where I was going with this is that the beautiful thing about being in the BAIO is that we get to be honest and free amongst ourselves. We get to be our intuitive and magical and powerful selves. We get to express what our needs are as Africans living in America as we work together to create this nation state. That's important to me. So the topics that I want to bring and to Sisters for Nationhood is I see two columns. I see the column that has to do with who we are as individuals, our holistic health, because we can't do anything if we're not healthy. That's what we're feeding our minds, what we're feeding our bodies, what we're feeding our souls. We love, Black love, self-care, what that looks like as we still are dealing with working on 9 to 5, some of us working 9 to 5 and having a business. Speaking of which, Sister Saleema has a beautiful body butter business. I believe is called Connie's Creations, that we got to check out and support if we haven't already. So there's so many things where the two columns will be our self-care, but then at the other column would be, what we're doing literally to move forward. And I have to admit, for me, there's certain things that I will not go live about. There's certain things that I think we will have to keep for ourselves in terms of conversations. However, we will be talking about that. Sister Saleema is into STEM, so we're going to be talking. I want her to really get into that for us, because even though it's almost 2022, a lot of women, there's still some kind of stereotype against women, or stereotype believing that women do not, or belief that women are not into STEM, right? So, this is what Sister Saleema and I are here for. We're not going to be here long tonight. Waiting for her to come back. I hope she's not having any technical issues coming back. But we are on fire for the BAIO. We are bringing the fire. We have a lot to share, a lot to talk about, and we are 110% behind us, next to us, walking alongside, in front of our brothers of the BAIO. So hang in there with us, guys. I'm waiting for Sister Saleema to come back. And I really appreciate all of you in the chat. Brother Dawood, Fly Guy, Darius, Ronan Black, Latasha, NDR 1981. Thank you so much for joining us on our first night, which is just of introductions. I was hoping that some of the other sisters who was in our group chat for Sisters for Nationhood, Underrated Mind, Mark, I was hoping that they would join us, but maybe next time, and maybe it's something technically that, that we're doing incorrectly. We'll get to, will we ladies be going to Liberia next year? I believe so. I may only be able to do one trip, and I'm kind of leaning on the Rwanda trip because it was my idea to go to Rwanda and connect with the president there.
Fly Guy, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you not hear me, sister? Uh-oh.
Okay, awesome. Because I don't see sis in the stream anymore.
Oh, I can hear you.
But yes, the plan is to go to Liberia next year. Absolutely. I'm not sure what happened to my beautiful sister, but we can go on.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Mari, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you though.
I don't see you listed and I can't hear you. Hold on one moment.
Can you guys hear her? All right.
All right. Well, I'm going to go out and come back in because for some reason I can't hear her at all.
Okay.
And Ronan is saying that he can hear both of us, but I can't hear you. I don't even see you here.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go out and then come back in.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging in there, guys. We'll get it together as we learn about this whole live stream thingamajig.
I see you and I hear you. I'm so excited.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's crazy how life just happens and you trying to do something and then life be like, no, you're not going to do that. What you gonna do is what I said. So I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
What did I
Um,
miss?
so I was just sharing some of my ideas about the things that we will talk about. And I was sharing that from my perspective, there's two things. There's two columns. One is about the mission, right? And all that goes in, all the intricacies that goes into the mission of nationhood. And then the other part is more connected to the emotional intelligence side of things, which is our self-care. You know, we can't build a nation if we're falling apart physically. We can't build a
Absolutely.
nation if we're falling apart mentally and spiritually. You know, we have to. And this is something that's maybe controversial too. But the recording I did, because I don't really consider it a live since I do it privately. But one of the things that's heavy on my heart is procreating without preparation.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I am seeing the cycle repeat itself over and over and over again. So these are the things that I want us to talk about. You know, that's all a part of self-care. It is not healthy for you or the child to continue to bring children into the world that you have not planned and prepared for, and then sometimes even resent that the child is there, even though it was sex that got the child there.
Right.
So, you know, so again, for me, I was just sharing that, and I didn't go into all that detail initially, but I was just sharing that from my perspective, there's two rows of things, two different perspectives that I want us to come to. I want us to talk about the self-care aspect.
It's
I
strange
want
that you even mentioned that, to be
Yes.
honest with you, because I don't have any children. You know,
Mhm.
45, I've never been married. So in my mind, I'm not in a place where I should have children. I've been in long-term relationships, but those relationships were not relationships where I would have wanted to bring a child in. It wasn't relationships that I should have been in that long. 10 years with somebody that you know you don't want to have a child with, you know you don't want to build a life with. That's a mental deficiency to, and I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm talking about myself, to stay in a relationship that long and then you can't foresee yourself being with this person for the rest of your life, but you spent almost 10 years with that person. That is a problem. You
Yep.
know, that's a problem. And most people are just like, oh, you know, it's your relationship. No, if I don't feel like that person is good enough to be my children's father, he ain't good enough for me.
Absolutely.
What
And
is we Because the reason to be in a relationship is to procreate, to keep going, to keep our lineage going. It's not just to be able to, sure, you want to travel, you want to have fun. Of course, there's the sexual aspect of it, but what is the long-term goal of being in this relationship? You know, what are we getting from it? What are we building in this union? If it's just to have fun and have sex, then you can do that anywhere. Why are we joining ourselves together in such a way that at the end of it, it's possible that we have to fight over what we have built together, you know? And then,
mhm.
like you said, we're having children with people that we don't even like as a person, but you
How
are
about we
having
don't
a
even know
child.
them? We don't even know them.
No,
We don't
you
even
know, I've
know
heard
them.
people say, I don't even know his last name. What?
Do you see
I'm
underrated
looking at
minds question?
Underrated's comment. Um, oh, that's a great question. What are some of the topics you think only sisters like yourselves can only get through other sisters in regards to vetting, the vetting process of nationhood? Oh, that's an awesome question, Underrated. Um, these are some of the topics actually, because I'm going to say something. I'm going to tell you something. As sisters, we have conversations that we don't have in front of brothers, and we don't even let brothers know that we're having these conversations. And I'm sure that it's the same on the other side. We are having conversations about the fact that the dating pool of Black men, because there are so many Black women who only want a Black man. And we are having these conversations, these open discussions about what it is that we want, what we are able to provide in reference to, because the common issue that we tend to have in the relationship process is that women believe that men are supposed to, it's the money thing. Oh, the man has to pay for everything and all of these things. But what do we bring to the table? What do you bring to the table? We bring so much to the table other than sex. We bring so much to the table other than just being a mother to your children. Someone has to nurture those children. Someone has to nurture you. So there are questions that, and there are questions that are going to be asked of Black men. There are questions that are going to be asked of Black women, just like you guys. There's a common thing on social media. Who pays for the first date? And these little petty childish questions that I've been hearing my entire adult life still are the main questions that are being asked. So we have to get past all of that and get to the point where, first of all, it's so much more than who pays for a date, because I honestly don't want to just date you. If we get to a date, I'm gonna tell you the truth. If we get to the point where I set a time and date to actually go out with you, then brother, you probably already got it. Now I don't date. I don't go out on dates with just random men. I've learned my lessons. So, and I'm not saying that I am a prize. I'm not gonna lie, but I am not any different than any other sister that's out here. It's just that I know what I want. I know who I want. I know what I can bring to that relationship, and I hope that he does as well. So the vetting process is going to be, sisters, what do we want? I'm being completely honest. I don't want sisters that are wishy-washy, that don't know what they want, especially something so small, so minute as a mate. That's tiny. That's minuscule in regards to building a nation.
Yeah. So first of all, the fact that you don't have any children makes you a conscious parent.
Yes.
There's an author, Dr. Shafali, and I'm going to mess up her name, but it's Saberi. I call her Dr. Shafali. And she wrote a book called Conscious Parenting. And basically she says that a lot of times we give birth to children because we want them to fulfill our dreams.
Yes.
We have children while we are in the midst of our stress, our post-traumatic stress from our dysfunctional parents, our stress from our domestication, how we were domesticated. And her stance is we need to take a pause on bringing children into the world until we recognize that we have to work on ourselves and make sure that, as I mentioned in a live, we like who, she didn't say it that way, but this is how I say it. We like who we love who we see in the mirror. We're in love with who we see in the mirror. So that means that we have taken the time, and these are the things, brother, that will be discussed with the sisters that we vet for in the process of nationhood and nation building, is knowing your worth. You, Saleema, you know your worth. And that's basically what I'm hearing. We understand that not every sister is going to know their worth, but we want to bring topics and conversation and drop jewels to help each other know our worth, or to take the time to spend time by ourselves to know our worth, to know that there's a system to this thing, there's a rhythm to our Africanism that we've lost. So some of the things that I think is important in terms of that, I'm very attached to the idea of feminine principle. And in fact, Sister Latasha and I and Andrea, who's often on Latasha's Alive, we met because we were all part of a group called the Feminine Principle. For me, the vetting process of nationhood will have to do with discussing our feminine principles.
You know, I don't want to cut you off, but like I said, I only go according to my life.
Mm-hmm.
Being raised as a Muslim, and there's a saying within the Nation of Islam that being in the Nation of Islam Islam is not a religion, it's a way of life.
Absolutely.
Okay, and that means that we are doing things in a systematic way. Everything is structured in the Lost Foundation of Islam. The sisters go to a class called MGT GCC. It's called MGT, and that's Muslim Girls Training.
Mm.
GCC is wow, how always my mind is everywhere, but it's basically teaching the sisters how to run a household, how to interact with your husband, how to interact with other sisters. That is the actual class, and it's not just the class that you go to until you're 19, 20 years old. This is a continuance everyday class.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is your life. Every week you meet with your sisters, because I need to know what's going on in your life. What if brother is beating on you? Then you need to tell your sister so we can go ahead and get that corrected.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not about the sisterhood was about making sure that the sisters are good. That struggle, that we have in the African American community of brothers and sisters not trusting one another, that is broken down, and the brothers are taught you are to respect your sisters, not just your wife, not just your siblings, but all of the sisters. We call each other brother and sister because we're a family, and we typically we tend to take care of our family. So if we're going to go ahead and build this nation, it has to be a nation where we know who we are. We know who we are. And in knowing your worth, you got to know who you are.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's not enough conversations about that. That's, sisterhood has been my thing since I was in my 20s. And the reason why it's important to me is because you don't know what you don't know. And it does take a village. It does take grandma, auntie, for the girls. It does take uncle, brother for the guys. We do need each other. So for me, in terms of going back to the question, the sisterhood is deep for me because of all the things that you're saying. I wanted to go back to you because the conscious parent, I was talking about Dr. Shafali.
Okay.
The conscious parent is the person who recognizes that they don't want to bring a child into a situation if it's less than ideal for themselves or the child. So you are a conscious parent, and I congratulate you.
Thank you
for that. Going back to what the other thing, bringing it back to the brother's question and what you were saying, some of the things that I think we will need when we get to the other side, right? Nation building is things that we had back in the day, such as Saturday school, when we would bring our kids, right? So you're familiar, right?
Yeah. Well, we were, like I said, we grew up Muslim, but in the Nation of Islam, I think we're not at in the mosque 1, maybe 2 days out the week. So you have the sisters are there for their MGT GCC class. The brothers are there for FOI class. Then you have Wednesday meeting. We have Friday meeting. We have Sunday meeting. So we're there 5-6 days out of the week. And like I said, so if we have this community where we have actual, like you said, a Saturday class. What are we teaching them? And first of all, we want to make sure that the kids are happy going there, because that's the whole thing, you know. So it's a community. So that Saturday class is the class. That's the class where the children will come, and you need to know these things that we're teaching for Saturday class. And then, like, it's not going to be a religious group of people. We're just a community, and the community should come together on a regular basis. The community should come together on, you know, I remember growing up, my family was so close that the generations, they just blurred together. You know, we didn't know that we had, like, my cousin was my first, second, third cousin, but there are cousins. My aunt, she had a child. My mother's aunt, my grandfather's sister, she has a child that's my age. So when we're growing up, Lori is just my cousin. I had no clue that was my mother's cousin, you know, because we were all one community. We were always together. So that's what we need to build. And as sisters, it is our responsibility. And I don't care who doesn't like it. If you don't like that, the responsibility of togetherness, the family, the culture is the woman's job, then this might not be the place for you, because that is our strong suit. That's what comes from our heart. You know.
Yes. Can you read Underrated Minds question?
Will the Sisters of the Nationhood talk about how femininity is powerful? I feel like a lot of people don't underestimate that. Absolutely. First of all, like I said, I used to work security. Okay. And I'm talking about physical security. So I remember I used to, I've never had an altercation at work. And everybody used to say, how is it that you never have, like, guys like run up on you and things like that? Because I know how to speak to a man in such a way that it's not a sexual way. It's just a nurturing way, so that this man knows I don't mean him any harm. Just do what I need you to do so that we could get out of this in a safe manner. Yes, absolutely. Our femininity is so important, and we can do so many things with it but we have been taught to be hard, to be rough, to we don't trust anybody, you know? So absolutely, that is what we are supposed to do. Our femininity is our power. Our femininity is, it will help our nation flourish.
Absolutely. Just be, you know, we just need to be. We just need a safe space to be. And I think that if we encourage that with the Sisters for Nationhood live streams, and that perhaps, like what I was sharing with Michael Bernard Beckwith's establishment, then we can affect change slowly but surely, because energy is powerful. So if we talk about it here and sisters join us here, perhaps they can take some of that. We can plant some seeds and they can take that out into their community. And they're, you know, especially for the younger people, because they're the ones that I really, really have a passion for, you know, being, sharing my lessons, sharing my stories in hopes that someone can benefit from it, and in hopes that it can help a younger person propel themselves forward, you know.
Absolutely.
So I think that in terms of the feminine principle or the feminine qualities for us, that's what we're here to express and discuss, and again, to bring the emotional intelligence to the room. You know, one thing I like to say, and I know we're at the hour, but you as a woman, you know, to all the women that are so hard and rough and, you know, cold with their men, you know, you can get a man to listen to you if you just allow yourself to be that soft, beautiful queen. If you allow yourself to share when I talk to my fella, and by the way, I took him out on our first date and it didn't take anything away from me. We've been together for 10 years. We can get our men to listen, and we can get a man to do what we ask them to do or need them to do if we recognize that their testosterone can only hear our estrogen.
Yes, ma'am.
So for us sisters, it's important to embrace the estrogen. It's a beautiful thing. We actually have babies that are attached to our wombs. And let me tell you something about the mothers that do not biologically have children. You are still nurturers because this is something that's in us.
I have 20 plus nieces and nephews, and they let me know every day.
Exactly.
I know that when that does happen, and I am, because I still plan on, being a mom maybe one day. I'm just going, my aunt had my cousin at 53 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really worried about, if it does, I'm going to be the best mom that there ever was. If it doesn't, I have 23 nieces and nephews that consider me a huge part of their lives.
That you've been mothering.
So, right. And, you hear people who say, oh, I was looking at a post where they said if there's something wrong with a woman who hasn't had a child by 40 years old. No, it's absolutely not. And I need everybody to stop, sisters to stop listening to those toxic conversations.
Absolutely.
Because if you're just having a child because of your age, you're not having a child for the right reasons.
Absolutely.
If you are not having a child with the right person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that it's very important that we do have these discussions.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
It's very important that we open up dialogue so that we can be free to say what we want to say. Because a lot of sisters are afraid to make simple statements. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Simple statements. I'm in the process of working with a fitness. She has a master's in fitness, and we're getting ready to start and to have a seminar for women for overall health, mental, physical, everything you could think of. Because I remember having conversations with Black women, and they don't know how to even do self-exams. So there's so many things that we have to discuss as sisters, that it's going to be amazing. This is going to be a platform where you can discuss what needs to be discussed and get the information. Because even if I'm sure I don't have all the information, but I can make sure I can send you to who has it, get the information for you. And that's what's important. That is what a community is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Being free to just say what is on your heart and mind. Like I said, I have 4 sisters. So we talk about things. I have cousins. I have, my cousins' children, my nieces and nephews. We have talks about everything. And that's the way a community should be. My nieces and nephews have never been afraid to come to me and talk to me about sex, about their lives. If we are not doing these things, then we need to just stop doing everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, sis. I think that this has been a good first conversation.
Yes. These conversations are tremendously important, especially given our current state. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So y'all just be here next week, because we have things to talk about.
Yes.
This is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for coming out for our first live stream. Like I said, we're going to have so many different topics. If you think you might want to hear a topic, let us know. and we'll see if that's something that we can do. But like I said, this is a community, so we need your input. We need you to like and share. We need you to make sure that this information is getting out to the rest of our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So peace and blessings, you beautiful, phenomenal beings. We look forward to next Saturday. So every Saturday at 7, Sisters for Nationhood, Saturday at 7, SSS.
Yes.
All right. Much love.
Peace.
Peace.